If you struggle with indecision, I'm going to tell you the one question that makes decisions so much easier. You know that gnawing feeling when you realize you're procrastinating a choice, a change, or a decision you need to make? If something in you is screaming, yes, this is me, do not fret, lovely human. I stumbled upon this question a few years ago, and this has made decisions so much easier. It's the one thing I wish someone had taught me way sooner. And it's just one simple question I started asking myself. But before I give you the question, and I promise I will, I want to give a little context. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jessie. I'm the self-doubt hypnotist. I help you retrain your brain out of overthinking and into the actual action steps you want to take. Because I used to struggle with making decisions, especially when it came to stuff that really mattered to me. The stuff that would change my life in some kind of meaningful way. Big dreams and goals, habits, relationship, career, finances, how to use my free time, all of it. And maybe you're like me in that I used to get frustrated with myself because on some level, sometimes I had a feeling for what I should be doing, but I just wasn't doing it. And that indecision and lack of action and inconsistency eventually eroded my self-confidence down even more over time. I know you've had at least one moment in your life where you decided you were done with an old pattern, but then noticed pretty quickly that the old pattern wasn't exactly done with you. It's a pretty universal experience for us humans. But be honest with yourself, and I'm only calling it out because I've been guilty of it too. You ever notice how more often than not, you wish things would just change without having to let go of the comfort of who you are right now? Maybe you're afraid of failing, or of the unknown, or of uncertainty, or even missing out on what you stand to lose by making a choice and sticking with it. Or maybe you think you don't know the right thing to do. Let's talk about what decide really means and why it matters for this question. The real problem here is that most of us tell ourselves we're going to decide to do something, yet we don't actually commit to that decision. We kind of fool ourselves and keep our decisions open, and we wind up not actually making one. And that lack of decision is what keeps you stuck in that old loop. That loop of overthinking, of starting and stopping, of procrastinating and avoiding. And I'm totally going to butcher my Latin, but if you look at the etymology of the word decide, you'll see that it comes from the Latin decidere, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, meaning to cut off. Genuine decision requires you to cut off the old path, the old way of being, the old you. And if you're clenching at that thought, that's totally normal and human too. Decisions can feel messy or scary or even grief-laden. Hard choices can come with real, impactful consequences. Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, he says that most decisions in life are simple, but difficult. And I agree with him. Making a decision is a difficult part of changing your life. In fact, it's the hardest part. And when you finally make a bona fide decision, you're going to surprise yourself with how easy the rest of it becomes. But how do you actually make this decision and stick with it? It doesn't require a forceful overhaul of your life or your personality. And it doesn't mean you have to gulp down your fears and hesitations and struggle bus it until you're magically someone new. It starts by just asking one simple question. So the easy button, the one question that makes this all super freaking simple. The one question that motivates the kind of change you can stick to sustainably. I've used this in so many areas of my life to become the person I want to be over and over and over again. And even in the last few months, I've used it to start up my blog and build my YouTube channel. And I'm even asking this question I'm about to share with you to write my first full-fledged book over the next few months. And this question is so deliciously simple, but the best things in life usually are. It starts with having a conversation with your future self. Not just any future version of yourself, but the one who is living the exact life you want. The future self who has already made the change, who embodies all the personality traits and habits and rituals, lifestyle, body, charisma, and excellence you desire. And you can ask future you just about anything, but what I've found to be the most impactful, action-spurring question is this. What would future me do right now? Try it now. What's something you've wanted but you keep putting off? Ask the question and then listen for the answer. But let's talk about why it works and the psychology of commitment. Have you ever heard of the term self-concept inertia? It's that cognitive dissonance you experience when you're not acting like the person you say you want to become, despite your conscious efforts. That feeling when your brain wants two opposing things at the same time. I like to think of it as kind of a jet lag in identity. And when the mind is split like this, it's because you have too many options. And allowing yourself too many options makes deciding feel overwhelmingly worse than it actually is. And you'll wind up feeling unsatisfied with whatever choice you make. But you want to know the kinds of regret that will haunt you the most? The real opportunities that life presents you that you never take action on. Especially the ones that might change your circumstances forever. So give yourself the one option that bypasses overthinking, cuts the bullshit, and forces a choice. What would my future self decide to do here? And the rest of your decisions and actions will become simple and clear. And as a result, you'll not only build trust with yourself, but that future you want to become unfolds so much more easily and quickly than you ever thought possible. I'm going to give you a 30-second easy button ritual. So this is a practice you can use regularly to build this future self muscle. It will interrupt that old pattern and help you become more decisive. So when you catch yourself in the loop, try this. 1, pause and take 3 deep breaths. 2, ask, what would my future self choose right now? 3, listen for the answer. Could be a nudge, a mental image, a hint of movement in the body, an impression, or a phrase, something similar to that. 4, take a tiny action. 5, feel the little bit of satisfaction you get for taking one small step towards your future self. Try this throughout the day over the next few days and notice what changes. This little ritual is enough to start rewiring your behavior and your thoughts, and it will help you create momentum in your life. And because you've gotten this far in this video, I know you're ready to change something, which means you're ready to cut off the old you, to cut off what no longer serves the future you're becoming. And this starts with getting clear on who future you actually is. But what if you're not clear on that? What if you're not sure exactly who you want to be? Or what if you have some vague notion of what you want to become but not sure about the details? The Future You Blueprint Workshop is the map you need to get clear on who you're becoming. In it, I teach you how to meet that future you who's already made the decisions you're trying to make today. And you'll learn how to connect with them so that you can borrow their clarity and certainty and wisdom. And ultimately, that means today's challenges become a lot easier. And if you're ready to stop wrestling with yourself and let future you sort of take the reins of your life, tap the link in the description below to grab the Future You Blueprint Workshop. Because when you let your future self lead, the next right decision simply becomes obvious. And if there is one thing that you've been pinning off, one thing that you've been procrastinating, go ahead and watch my next video. It's a hypnosis that will help you check off that one thing on your to-do list.